This is Kenyon with Little Giant Ladder Systems, and today we're going to demo the HyperLite extension ladder. The HyperLite comes in varying models with varying features and benefits. The HyperLite that I'm demonstrating today has internal ratchet levelers. So your HyperLite may look different or have additional features and benefits. The HyperLite is known as one of the lightest extension ladders because it's made out of a unique blend of the glass and the resins, since the #1 cause of ladder injury is overexertion, and ladders are often top-heavy or awkward to move. So you'll appreciate that Little Giant has trimmed a lot of that weight out, in fact, up to 20 pounds out of a 28-foot extension ladder. So you'll appreciate the lightweight nature, loading it or unloading it from the top of a van or a truck, but still meeting those 300 or 375 pound weight capacities. Very light, very strong. Little Giant also took the rope, or what's referred to as the haul rope, that traditionally has run down through the middle, but since that's where your hands and your feet go, Little Giant moved the rope off to the side so operators will have a clear climbing path. You'll also notice that that allowed us to double pulley the rope. There's a pulley up here towards the top with an additional pulley down here towards my knees, which gives us a mechanical advantage. So as we raise or lower this fly section, that mechanical advantage makes that lightweight fiberglass feel even lighter yet. Great way to move extension ladders. So that means that an operator no longer needs to wrap their hand around the rope because it's not needed. You'll also find that the rungs are put on just a little bit different. Because they are a flat rung, you're on a flat surface as you're climbing, but even more important is that they're welded onto plates, and those individual plates are riveted through the material. So no longer do you have those large holes every 12 inches through the side rail. If you've had the experience of an extension ladder on top of your van or a truck whistling down the freeway, that's a thing of the past. And speaking of rungs, you'll notice that one of the rungs towards the top is a bright red label that reminds the operator not to stand on or above, but it's also a good way to line up that rung to the upper landing or the roof line as you're accessing. So that way you're sure to put the HyperLite extension ladder 3 feet above the upper landing as you safely transition on and off of the ladder onto that upper landing. Remember, 3 feet above the upper landing is an OSHA requirement. The HyperLite is available with many options for trade-specific work to help you be more effective, productive, and to be safer in the work that you're doing. One of which you'll see that we're demonstrating today is the V-bar. Now this is not a V-rung and not to be stood upon, but that V-bar is close to the top, so it engages to the pole or to the exterior corner of a building that much sooner. Giving us the engagement that is secure and tight up against that surface that we've leaned the extension ladder against. An important part of ladder safety is also achieving the 4:1 ratio or 75-degree angle. Many HyperLites are prepared with a bubble level on the side, so as you need to push the ladder in or pull the ladder farther away from the surface that you've leaned the ladder against, and one more indication that your ladder is set up at the correct angle. Another option found on this particular HyperLite are the house pads. As we're leaning the house pads against buildings or flat walls, you'll have even more engagement as we're leaning the ladder against those flat surfaces. Again, taking into account that the ladder will be leaned at that 75-degree angle. Another great productivity and safety feature, especially when the ladder is set up on unlevel terrain, is the ability to adjust or compensate for that unlevel terrain. This particular HyperLite has internal ratchet levelers. So now if and when your HyperLite is set on unlevel ground, we can compensate for that ground simply by pressing in the opposite leg and taking every precaution to make sure that the ladder is set up correctly. To release the ratchet levelers is just as easy. Simply push in this housing here at the top, and as with any metal moving components, make sure that the ratchet levelers or any metal components are cleaned and lubricated. We recommend doing that when they're new and every 6 months. You can find the video about lubrication in the description below. The 2-position foot is also field replaceable. So if and when you ever find a way to wear these feet out, you can simply take those off and replace them with new feet. They are a 2-position foot. As we move it from the pad position into the spike position, if we were on softer surfaces like grass or gravel, and then back to the pad position if we were on a flat or level surface. The Hi-Viz Green Fiberglass is the easiest shade perceived by the human eye. Since visibility is safety, we want you to be visible, and that's why that fiberglass is bright and green. And to add to the ergonomics and fewer strain and sprain injuries, your HyperLite is prepared with a balance point label. So as you put the ladder parallel to the ground, just line that balance point label up with your belt or your hip, carrying the ladder with 2 hands. That's the easiest way to carry your HyperLite. And some reminders here: choose the right ladder for the job, set it up correctly, maintain 3 points of contact when you're climbing up and down any ladder. This is the HyperLite by Little Giant Ladder Systems.